So welcome to Hangzhou, China, and the G20 Media Center, which is pretty vast. Another word might be cavernous. You can see banks and banks of computer screens around us here. We are told there are 5,000 accredited reporters from 70 different countries. Don't all seem to be here at the moment, but that is who we are told are coming. Let me show you our working position here. So this is our live point. This is my side, so this is what I'm looking at when you see me talking from here on the TV. Send me your questions. I will do my best to answer them about G20, about China's hosting of G20. I should just say we are having some problems with our internet connection because Facebook is banned here in China, so we're having to use something called a virtual private network to get around the Great Firewall to talk to you. So if it breaks down, that is what is happening, and we will try to reconnect. Let me show you, I wanted to show you today's paper. So this is Saturday morning, huge front page story here about the volunteers helping visitors cross the language barrier. This is very much the image that China wants to present from this, all about China putting on its best face, welcoming its visitors. This is the sort of China that they would like the world to see. And inside here you have President Xi with his vision of progress for a fairer world, and all of the world leaders around here. You can make out Theresa May down here on the facing page. This, as I say, for China, this is all about China's successful hosting of this event, about President Xi, the statesman, one of the most powerful men in the world, hosting what they are determined will be a terrific success here. So let's show you around a little bit as we talk and as we answer questions. So down there is the big screen. So that is when there are live events from the host broadcasters, CCTV, China Central Television. They appear up there. There was great excitement a short time ago when President Obama touched down Air Force One. A lot of these journalists then gathered in front of the big screen, camera phones in hand, taking pictures of the screen, taking selfies with Obama and the Beast. There's just a tripod on the ground beneath you there. So that is what is happening down there. Up here are positions, live positions that various broadcasters are using. So you can see banks and banks, everyone up next to each other when they're all going at the same time, trying to speak over each other. People taking photos of themselves here at the G20 Media Center. For a lot of people, it's a really big deal. There are volunteers here from around China. They're very excited. They are extremely polite and helpful. They are doing their best to help us and to guide us through all of this. So let's try and get to some of your questions. I have a look down through here. So what is the G20? So the group of 20 actually started as a meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors back in 1999. The global financial crisis kind of changed that, so it became then a forum where the leaders also came. And I think people are actually doing a photo with us as the backdrop over here. So it became then, after the global financial crisis, this occasion for world leaders to also take part of. So that's why you now have, not just Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, coming here. You have Theresa May, you have Barack Obama, you have Vladimir Putin. The world leaders now come here too. So that is what it is. It's technically about the global economy. But the reality is, when you have all of these world leaders coming here, it is also about their own domestic political agendas. So in the UK example, we are told that Theresa May is coming here to show that Britain is open for business, that it's a strong, dependable trading partner. Those are the sort of, I guess, the emphasis that they want to put on this, the sort of image that they want to show. Theresa May coming here, pressing Britain's case in the world. In reality, it's about so much more than the economy. So it's also, she will be talking about Syria, she'll be talking about Ukraine. She will also, one would imagine with the Chinese hosts here, be talking about the Hinkley Point power plant and whether Britain intends to go ahead with that. You can see people hard at work all around us here. What can the G20 achieve that the G7 can't? So I guess the primary thing to point out in terms of the differences between G20 and G7, and this might sound pretty obvious, but G7 is a meeting of the major industrial nations. G20 is both them and the emerging markets, so the developing economies. So it is a broader platform. There are many more people here, many more interests. The key difference from China's point of view, and why China particularly wants to boost the status of the G20, have this become sort of the major important forum, is short and sweet because it's invited to it. China, it may be hard to believe given the size of China and the importance of its economy, it is not part of the G7. So this is the summit it is part of. This is the one that it is hosting. So it wants this to become the summit where things get done. You know, Xi Jinping has had some great rhetoric about an action-oriented G20. So he wants to turn this into the primary forum, make G20, I guess, the new G7, and make it important. Which is in turn because that then reflects on him, his importance, and the importance of China in the world. Let me get to some more. So Neville asks, does anything get resolved? Which is a very good question. I mean, I think, so on the basis of what you will hear coming out of this, you will think that a lot of problems have been resolved. You will hear a lot of talk about constructive dialogue and agreement on the need for resolution. I think what we're going to hear today and the coming hours is President Xi and President Obama are going to say that they have both their countries have ratified the Paris Agreement on climate change. That will seem like a major achievement. It will seem like sort of tangible progress from this summit, because you do kind of hear that, that's great, everyone's coming together, what actually gets done? This will be given as an example of something that got done, that these two world leaders came together, agreed to ratify this deal, and that will have meaningful change in terms of global carbon emissions. You know, in reality, the fact that I'm talking about this an hour after Obama arrived and before this summit has even started kind of suggests that the legwork of this was already done, that this is not sort of hard bargaining in rooms here. This is the various delegations agreeing on what they can jointly announce on sort of, you know, good sounding rhetoric, positive agreements that can be announced as a result of this. And climate change, you know, for all of the many outstanding disagreements between the US and China, this is one thing that they can agree on. It's one thing that suits both sides. Obama